Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi there, this is James Valvis, and I'm coming at you with a new Freeform, second Freeform in as many days. And the reason I'm coming at you with a Freeform is because I'm supposed to have done a short story today, and I never did it. Got a little busy, had stuff to do. Friday we had to get rid of a mattress, so we had to drive all the way, probably about 40, 50 miles away with the mattress tied on the top. It's a really, really heavy mattress. I would put it, 100, 150 pounds and awkward to carry. And, my wife is, nearing 60. I'm not going to have her do that. So I basically carried it out to the car myself and put it on the roof, and, she helped me tie it down. But it was a chore, and so that ate up a good deal of Friday. And then on Saturday, I just was making rather merry, I suppose, and I did a few other things, and ultimately it just didn't pan out that I was able to do the story. But I'll get to it eventually. I have it queued up. I know what story's going to be. It's going to be a story called Weirdoness, which is kind of a Larry Brown inspired short story about a guy who's trapped in a loveless marriage. And he gets kind of these ideas and he kind of expounds on them. But it was published some time ago. I don't even recall offhand where. I published quite a few short stories thus far. I mean, I don't know, maybe 100 of them. I don't remember how many. It's a lot at this point. And so it's hard to keep all that in your head, and forgotten. The poems, forget about it. Unless I have specific memory of that poem being in a specific place, I can almost never remember where the poem is. I have to look that up. Anyway, so I'm here doing free form, and that means I'm going to be talking about whatever comes to mind, whatever's on the table. We got rid of the mattress. The mattress was in my room, my office, and my game room / office, and so I was not able to do any video game uploads or videos because I had the new camera and had the whole thing, but I had this big mattress in the way, and I didn't want to be taking videos. Well, here's me and my arcade machine and my big mattress. So basically, I've been pretty busy, always busy. I'm always busy. It's amazing that somebody who technically doesn't quote unquote work. I'm always busy. I'm always struggling for time. But I do a lot of stuff around the house, and I do the writing, and I do the all this stuff, and it just eats up time. And when slowly here, Sophie is going to be going to college, and that means that I will have more time that I will fill up with more things, and it will it'll seem like I have no more extra time at all. Because there's a lot of stuff to do around the house. I mean, we have a house that's about a condo that's about 40 years old, and this house, this condo needs a lot of maintenance done to it. So we need tiles done in the bathroom. We need a new stove put in, a new dishwasher put in, a new washer dryer put in, and that's a chore because first of all we live in a small condo, and second of all they don't fit through the door. I mean, you have to take off the door to get anything to fit through here. I was looking to get my arcade machine in the room, and I couldn't. I don't worry about somebody coming in and stealing my arcade machine because A, it's so heavy, and B, you'd never fit it through the door. You'd have to take off the door to actually steal the thing. And so, I mean, now that it's in here, I don't even want to move because how am I going to move it? I think it's really heavy. I mean, it's like I have a tabletop arcade machine. It's a main cabinet, hyperspin cabinet that literally plays. It says 50,000 games, but it's probably closer to 40,000 when you get the repeats and the games that don't work, because there are some games that just don't work. And there are other games that are just slight. And I just came across 3 games yesterday that didn't work. Annoyed me. But there were still so many games. There's so many games in that machine that if I played 3 new games a day, which I try to do, I try to play 3 new games every day, so I don't get stuck in a rut and playing the same games over and over again. I have my favorite games and I play them, but I try to mix in some new ones. And because if you don't, you'll just play the same 16 games over and over and over again, and you'll never try this. You'll have this massive mansion in which you're living in a closet. And so but every now and then I play one that doesn't work, and it started annoying because I spent a lot of money on it. I spent about $3,000 on the machine itself, and then another $1,000 on accoutrement. A wheel, a light gun, a spinner, a personal artwork for the machine, and various other things that cost money, and that all. So it was not a cheap investment, and I would not recommend that machine for anybody who is not also as committed to gaming as I am. These games to me are like my childhood. I mean, some of the happiest moments I had as a child were playing video games. There was no books around the house. So I wasn't a reader. I loved reading, but I didn't ever have books. So but we did have video games, and we had Atari 2600. Eventually got a ColecoVision, and I played the heck out of them. I played them all the time. I was either watching baseball or I was playing video games, and those were the happiest moments I had. The happiest moments I ever had with my dad were playing video games. Some of the happiest moments I ever had with my sister, who I no longer talk to, were playing video games. Some of the happiest. My dad passed away. What's going on? What? 17 years now, something like that. Just past 17 years. On August 21st. So it's something that I love to do. I do it every day, and otherwise, I would say that this is not an investment people should make because they can get themselves a Raspberry Pi for about $300-400 and have lots of games and be happy. But me, I'm just thrilled with it. I've had it for about a year, almost a year, and which makes me nervous because its warranty is for 1 year. But it's just terrific fun, and I love it. I love. I hope I never have to live a day without it again. I feel that way about like my wife, my daughter, and my arcade machine. Those are the three things I never want to live a day without again. But sometimes you got to go someplace, and it's like I can't bring my machine with me. I can't play my games. And I play. It sounds like like I play like all these. I'm playing like crazy and playing a lot. But in truth, I don't play that much. I probably play maybe half an hour to an hour a day. It might be that much. Some days it's less. Some days it might be a little more. But for the most part, that's what I play. Now it's on for a lot longer than that. Like I'll do this talk. I just played some games. I played Up and Down, a game, a car game, and I played that game for, 20 minutes maybe. I actually hadn't opened it in a while, so it was fun to play for 3 games. And now I have a game called Bricks, that is an old 1980s Universal game, I think. And I'll play a game like that when I get done with this, and it's only play like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I probably shut it down, for the day. I might play for another 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know. I might leave it on and play a little bit more later. So it's on quite a bit, but I don't play it the whole time that it's on. If I did, I'd pretty much be doing nothing but playing video games. It's kind of it has to go through a big load process, so it's a pain in the butt to shut it down when you play a game. You're gonna go out for, you're gonna go do something for half an hour. You don't want to go through the whole boot process again. So anyway, so eventually, pretty soon, almost maybe even this week, I'm going to start making videos of this. And I thought about just starting a whole new channel and just leaving this for the literary stuff, and putting the gaming stuff on a different channel, because I don't think they really mesh. I don't think that people are interested in it. The people who are listening to me now are probably like, why is this guy talking about video games? I don't care about video games. And I understand that. If you were talking about, I don't know, foreign films or something, I'd be like, well, I kind of like foreign films, but I kind of like everything. That's my problem. That's one of my problems. I'm the kind of person who's interested in almost everything. There's almost nothing that doesn't interest me. You have to really go far and wide to find something that I don't find fascinating, because I can find almost anything fascinating. I just find the whole world fascinating. I find politics fascinating. I find philosophy fascinating. I find theology fascinating. I find movies fascinating. I find old movies fascinating. I find new movies fascinating. I find the culture fascinating. I find food fascinating. I find cooking fascinating. I find gardening and I can just go on like that. And poetry, and prose, and there's almost no end to it. I can watch a video on whittling and be just totally fascinated by that, because I just have that kind of brain. Now a lot of people, they get bored. I have no interest in that at all. I'm not really interested in knitting, but yeah, I can sit there and I don't want to knit. I don't want to do it myself, but I can absolutely become fascinated by it. And there are some things that I would love to do. I just don't think I have the time. Like I would love to learn how to play piano. I would love to learn to speak a foreign language. There's all these things I would love to learn to do, but it's just only so much time and effort, in a day. You only have so much energy. You only have so much time. I'm not as young as I used to be. And the idea of, I'm going to go and learn German now, or I'm going to, figure out, what I would like to do as a visual artist or something. It's just, yes, I would love to do that stuff, but it's, time. It just, all the time I'm not doing that. I'm not writing a poem. I'm not writing a short story. I'm not writing it. I'm not focusing on this gift I've been given. And the same with the video games, and the same with everything else. Everything I do takes away from that, and I focus on that. If I talk about politics, that's time I'm spending not writing a poem, or not sharing a poem, or not reading a poem, or not studying poetry to get better at poetry, or not writing fiction, or sending out work, or anything to do with that. And so it's we all have to decide where we're going to spend our time. It really is our most valuable asset, and it really is. When you're killing time, you're not killing time. You're killing yourself. You're killing all your dreams, and you're killing all your everything else. See, I don't see playing video games, just killing time. I see that as enjoyment. You got to have enjoyment in life. You got to have leisure time. You got to have time away. Otherwise, you just become, like Jack Torrance in The Shining, where all work and no play, and he just starts chasing the wife and the kid with the axe. You have to have some time away. You have to have some time to reset your mind. But I definitely have a lot of stuff I want to get done, and it's crazy. That's why if this doesn't pan out, if I don't start getting a larger audience, I'll have to stop doing it, because it's just, there's so much I want to do, that to give time to something that's just not working and not coming across, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, while I was doing all that, while I was thinking about all that, I was also thinking about my friend Jim Chandler. Jim Chandler died last year, or maybe a little over a year now, and he was a friend of mine for a long time. We're talking 25 years. When I went online for the first time in like 97, somewhere in there, one of the first people I became friends with, outside of the people I was already friends with, like Ron Androla, was Jim Chandler. He had an online presence. He was very early to go online. He had one of the first online literary journals called Thunder Sandwich, which I guess edited one time. And he was a tremendously interesting guy. He was, unlike most poets, he was unique. He thought for himself. He was a Southern gentleman, but also a ravenous drunk. and a guy who put away cases of beer a day. Somehow never gained weight, but he just put away lots of alcohol. And he was a journalist by trade, and so he wrote for a small uh, uh, newspaper, the Mackenzie Banner or something like that in Tennessee. And he was very good at it, and he made a living from it. Never a big living from it, but he made a living from it. And he ran the literary journal Thunder Sandwich, in which he published many of the greats of the small press. I went through Thunder Sandwich, just about all of them that I can think of. From Bukowski to you name it. So they all had some kind of work at Thunder Sandwich at some point. I mean, at one point it was a paper press, and then he made it into an online journal. That's where I found him, when he was an online journal, and he published lots of my work. He probably published to this day. I would say Thunder Sandwich has probably published more of my work than anybody. He was publishing me when I would send him work. He would like bug me for work. I was not sending work out a lot. I had lots of all this old work, and he'd bug me for work, and I'd like write a couple of things and I'd send it to him, and he'd publish it because he wanted some Valvis in there. And I sent him a novella. He published a novel of mine. He published a lot of stuff of mine. So Chiron Review is probably second, but definitely Thunder Sandwich would be first. I was thinking about him, and I was thinking, boy, oh boy, I could really use some of that Jimbo Chandler sanity right about now. And I've watched other friends of mine lose their minds. They've lost their minds. They have completely given their minds over to emotionalism, and they are not thinking clearly anymore. They don't look at the world objectively in any way, shape, or form. And for me, that's very hard to deal with people like that. It's very hard to deal with people who are just emoting. There is no thought that goes into how they're dealing with their thoughts. It's just how they feel, and their feelings validate their thoughts. They don't need logic. They don't need reason. They don't need evidence. They don't need anything. They just need to feel it, and it is. So if they feel that Trump is a monster, he's a monster. They don't need evidence for that. They don't need to to have. They can supply the evidence with whatever BS thing the mainstream media gives them, or whatever thing that they want to jump to a conclusion about. They want to say, he wanted to assassinate Hillary Clinton or something, and they really believe it. They believe that this business tycoon who has billions of dollars wants people to go around and assassinate his political opponent. Or they believe that he's a Russian stooge, this guy he's a billionaire many times over. He has no reason to be beholden to anybody. He doesn't owe anybody any money. He doesn't need anybody's help. He's rich, and he's rich beyond his dreams. He can't spend it all. He doesn't have enough time left to spend it all. He can't even lose it all, because most of his money's tied up in real estate, and real estate doesn't lose money like that. You can lose money if you're like invested in the stock market or something, but if you have a building in Manhattan, that building's worth a certain amount of money, and it's going to be worth that much money tomorrow and the day after. The only way you lose it is they bomb the city. So the idea that they just find this stuff, and I was thinking, boy, I could really use Jim right about now. I mean, because it just seems like I have people who are sane out there, but they either lean left, or I don't know them that well, and so somebody that I knew a long time and was friends with and had gone through the wars with, and we fought. Jimbo Chandler could really be he could be a skadooch. For you Nazis out there, he was a skadooch. He could be a pain in the ass. He could really get on you. We didn't talk for a number of years, like 3 or 4 years over. It was a stupid thing too. It was like Lane Kiffin comment I made. He just got mad at me because I said Lane Kiffin was a moron or something like that. He was a big Tennessee Volunteers fan, and he got mad at me, and then we argued, and he just he started bad mouthing me online and everything. It's just silly, but he was a hothead. He could be a hothead, but he was also sane. He was also a guy who had not completely given his mind over to the cult. And when you have, that's not common anymore. I'm sad to say that. I'm sad to say, it used to not be like this. I don't think it was like this anyway. Oh yeah, people were nuts about Bush. They said all kinds of horrible things about George Bush, and some of it deserved, by the way. But but what's going on now? I can't deal with it. It's way over the top. It's not rational. And for somebody like me who treasures reason and thoughtfulness, so here I am sitting here missing my old friend, wishing he was still there to talk to, because there isn't really anybody besides my wife that I've known a long time that I can turn to and talk to about this stuff, because everybody else just seems to be out in la la land, or they're just they got other things to do. And so you never really realize what you got till they're gone. You never realize that. And I'm going to do a poetry feature on Jazz, as I called him. That's what he went by, Jazz, Jazzbo, Jim Chandler. He had all kinds of names. He really did. He had all kinds of weird names that he would just go by. But I called him Jazz for years, and he was a great guy. I'm going to do a poetry feature on him. I'm looking forward to that when I get back into it in September. Probably after my daughter leaves. My daughter leaves on the 14th. I will probably start doing the features again after that, somewhere around the I don't know what the Wednesday is after that, but I'm going to do them on Wednesdays, and so I'm looking forward to that. And that's basically all I got. I should have done a story. I didn't do it. I do apologize. I should do a poem at least. I probably will, and I'll upload this. This is probably one of my weaker free forms. I, basically just said, just a 22-minute apology for not doing what I was supposed to do. Okay, thanks for listening. If you listen to this, and God bless you.